Hey guys, RJ from TeleTalks here. On today's episode of Talkin Teles, we're going to be talking a beautiful custom shop from Fender with an awesome YouTuber and Instagram guitarist who I have the honor of talking to today. YeatZee Guitar. How are you doing, man?
What's up, man? I'm doing good. This is sweet.
Yeah, I mean, I just real quick, I'm gonna throw you out there how I found you on Instagram. Just your awesome Helix patches. That's what sparked it, and that's the rabbit hole I then fell down. So
That's super cool.
yeah.
So through Instagram, that's interesting. That usually is through like a forum or Facebook or something, but not Instagram.
Yeah, I follow a lot of like the HX Stomp like fan pages and stuff like that. So I think it can.
Yeah.
I think somebody like reposted you essentially, and that's how I found you.
Cool. I'll take it.
Fair enough. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. First, tell us about yourself, your background, and basically how long you've been playing.
There's not a whole lot to say. My name is Tanner Yates. Like he said, I'm the guy behind YeatZee Guitar, and I've been playing for probably about 14 or 15 years. I'm self-taught. Music is kind of my passion, my hobby. It's not my career, but I love music, and getting the Helix kind of changed the game for me, and it just kind of opened up so many doors for me to just kind of reach out to other people, meet new people, make different sounds, collaborate with different people. It's been really neat to get the Helix and all of that, and that's kind of opened the floodgates for things like this guitar we'll be talking about, because you save so much money when you get the Helix. I sold a ton of stuff when I got the Helix, and gas doesn't go away. It goes from amps and pedals to guitars, in my experience.
Absolutely. So let's just, waste no time. Tell us about this beautiful Telecaster. I noticed that it's your one and only Tele, and I was watching your video on YouTube. Check out his YouTube channel, link down below. You said that this originally never really appealed to you, the Thinline specifically, I should say. Why is that? What made you go Thinline? What's so special about this guitar?
Yeah, I'll start off by saying something that's maybe a little sacrilegious for this platform I'm on right now, but Teles were never my thing. I was always a Gibson guy. Since I was a kid, Gibson was kind of the pinnacle to me. A Les Paul's what I always wanted. And I just love the 335s, the 330s. I'm really a big fan of Gibson. And Tele, everyone I know has a Tele. So Teles are so common. Everyone plays them. So for me, I mean, my guitar collection, as you know, is pretty unique. I got a lot of kind of stuff you don't see very often, or at least in colors you don't see very often. And so Tele, to me, like a butterscotch Tele, there's a million of them everywhere, and that's for a reason. They're fantastic guitars. But for me, I'm always looking for something different. I like the quirky kind of guitars, the ones that are maybe a little polarizing. So, so I was looking around. Thin lines just kind of never really did it for me, mainly because the specs that usually come with thin lines, usually they have a thinner neck. The pickups are kind of the later 60s pickups or early 70s pickups, which are just kind of thinner sounding and not my cup of tea personally. I'm a bigger fan of the Broadcaster, the butterscotch Tele sound, but I don't love the looks.
Okay.
So that kind of made it hard to get into Teles, because most of them, have that butterscotch with the black pickguard or white pickguard look, which I know is a lot of people love. It's a classic look. For me, it just doesn't do a whole lot. So this guitar came along, and it's actually a 2018 NAMM limited edition that was shown off at Winter NAMM. And I talked to Fender, about it, and they said they made 14 of them, so there's not too many of them out there.
Special.
But basically, yeah, and I didn't even know that when I bought it, but I found that out later. But it's basically, they call it a 50s Thinline. So it's got 50 specs. So it's as if it was like a 50s broadcaster, Telecaster, but with a thinline body. So it's got the one-piece maple neck. It's got the brass saddles here. It's got the traditional ashtray. It's got a hand-wired broadcaster in the bridge, broadcaster pickup in the bridge. It's got the hand-wired Texas Special in the neck. And then obviously it's got the thinline body with the finish over finish. And it's got a fatter neck as well, so it's got the 57 soft V, which I love. It's a great neck, and for me, I prefer the bigger necks.
Well, I mean, that makes sense. You're a Gibson guy. I mean, if you're coming from Gibson, you're gonna want the thicker necks.
Yeah.
Now, just kind of quick question for you: did you intentionally go with maple like fretboard, or? Because, I mean, I'm thinking Gibson, I'm thinking rosewood. That might be your preferred fretboard material. What?
Yeah, the only Tele I ever really entertained was a double bound Tele. Those were kind of, for me, the only ones that really appealed to me. I think they're super sexy, and especially when you get them in the really cool colors.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of that look. So that's what, I told myself, if I'm ever getting a Tele, it's going to be one of those. And I looked around, and then this one popped up, and you can't actually tell right now, but it is actually double wound, even though it's white, so you can't tell very, very well. But so those are traditionally those are like a 60s custom Telecaster, the double wound ones. And those are traditionally a rosewood board. And for me, rosewood is my favorite. I've always preferred rosewood because of Gibson, probably. And I was never really into maple necks, particularly not because I played them and felt that they were sticky, but I know a lot of people that told me they are sticky to play. And I never played them because I was never super interested in any guitars with maple necks. I don't know anyone that has one. Mm-hmm. So I always stayed away from them. But then I got this guy, and I thought, oh, it's going to be terrible, but maybe I can get past it. And I have zero issues. I've never had any issues whatsoever with my fingers sticking to the lacquer. You can see kind of it's got some of the lacquer removed in parts, which is cool. But yeah, I've never had any issues with it. I think it sounds great. On this guitar, I feel like rosewood will look a little goofy as well. I think the maple really fits it.
Oh yeah, so. Absolutely. I mean, I think so. You mentioned double bound. If anybody wants a double bound Tele on the cheap, Squier Classic Vibe 60s, great guitar.
Yeah.
I'm more of a maple guy. I'm the exact opposite of everything that you just said. Like literally everything.
Yeah.
Rosewood or rosewood-like fretboards just have never done it for me. I think the only one that I actually did appreciate was on my my Gibson Les Paul. I just had like a simple tribute with like P90s back in the day.
Oh, cool.
Nothing fancy. I ball on a budget here at TeleTalks, so yeah, I've played some amazing Teles far above my price range, but I stick to like sub 1,000 Teles here. As I mentioned earlier, I like the HX Stomp. It's my go-to recording thing. It's easy. I live in an apartment. it's problematic. Like, you know, I
Yeah.
can't rock an amp. I have a really cool limited edition Marshall Class 5 that I love. I mean, I could do a load box, and I might further down the line, but I also just don't have space. What makes a good Helix Teletone for you?
Ooh, wow. Um, well, I don't know if I can answer that specifically for a Tele because when I think Teletone, I think of the country chicken picking kind of stuff, which I can't do. It's like I said, I was never really into Tele, so I never really got into that style of playing. For me, like I said with this guitar, and my preference with tone, I like the fatter 50s sound where it's got more mid range. It's not quite as super bright, sometimes a little harsh. So I like a Teletone that's more rocking. So I like to have, like for the Helix, for example, throw the Greenback 25 cab, the 4x12.
Okay.
That would be my cab of choice. That's just kind of sounds fantastic. And to be honest, I have compared just about every IR under the sun. And the 4x12 IRs versus that stock cab, there's almost nothing in it. That's in my opinion, the best stock cab in the Helix.
Okay.
So
Okay, fair enough.
it's great, super easy to get a good sound of. Use the Royer 121 model, and you're pretty much good to go, or the 160.
Okay.
So I would probably go with that, and then I would go with the Plexi as the amp of choice to get that kind of tone. Super classic sound.
Almost like you have a preset for this that
I do actually. And that,
links will also be down below to check out.
What's funny is I actually made that before I even owned a Tele, and then I did a new video to kind of like I did a new demo video of that patch. I did an update to it, and I played the Tele with it, and I'm like, wow, this was kind of almost purpose built for the Tele, and I didn't even realize it. I set it up for I have a bunch of other guitars here. I play all of them through the patches to try and set them up to be as neutral as possible, so that you could show up with a Tele, even though I don't own one, and it should sound pretty good right out of the box. And this guitar just happens to fit totally within all of my guitars really well. So that was a happy accident.
Honestly, and this is going to be blasphemous to most Tele players, for me personally, it's actually why most of the time on a standard configuration of a Tele, I stay away from the bridge pickup. I go middle and neck. I can't do the bridge,
Yeah.
but I noticed with your tone, it's not to bite your head off. And I can really appreciate that. And maybe it is just because it's the broadcaster pickup, like you're saying, that really, offsets that. I've never really played any of the more custom shop Fender like pickups. My go-to is actually a Filtertron. That's my preference.
Great.
I mean, you got the Gretsch, so you know what's up.
No, doesn't have Filtertrons though. It's got the Dynasonics, which, interesting enough, I think sounds like a massive Tele. The Dynasonics, pro tip, if you want a massive Tele sound, get a Gretsch with Dynasonics.
Okay.
It's I swear it sounds like a Telecaster. It's one of my favorite tones ever. It's really good and super under the radar too. People don't really think about the Dynasonics very often. But the Filtertrons are great too. I love those pickups.
Okay.
I don't own any, but they're really good.
So, let's tell me more about your musical background. Tell me your influences, like players, music, just bands, etc., etc.
Yeah, I don't have a very good answer for that because, to be honest, I got into guitar not because of the music side of things. Like, my family was never musical. My parents didn't really listen to music. So growing up, I didn't have a big connection to music. I got into guitar, honestly, because I thought it was cool. I was like, cool people play guitar. I want to jam with these people. I want to play guitar to be like those people. So I literally just picked up a guitar to just try and be cool and just have something to do. I really liked the thought of playing guitar, and once I got into it, it just feels like when you are playing a perfect solo or you just hit that bend perfectly, like there's no feeling like that, especially live. And that's kind of what I always chased. It was never necessarily to sound like so and so. I didn't have like a ton of idols I looked up to. Obviously, I listened to a ton of different music, all of the classics, you name it. I probably enjoy it. I've really only country music is the only music I've struggled getting into, which I know is probably again blasphemous for a Tele channel. But
Not here, not here. You're okay.
Okay,
You're still cool. Don't worry about that.
cool.
Yeah.
I just made it through. I have a lot of friends that are fantastic musicians too that I really get inspired by, and just kind of those little more grassroots things where it's not big mega bands. I really get inspired by the creativity of just the people locally down here in San Diego. It's pretty amazing, the music scene. Yeah, yeah. You learn a lot. I feel like you learn so much more being in the room with great musicians versus listening to a CD or something, which is fantastic and has its own merit. But for me, and I was never a big shred guy either, so those people didn't appeal to me.
I mean, I respect it, but
for sure,
not my bag. Not my bag for sure, and I don't have the dexterity for it.
Me either. Yeah, I definitely don't.
If you were to make another Tele, like if you were to do a version 2, is there anything that you would want to get in said version 2? You can still have this custom shop, but let's say you got another Tele. What's going to be that Tele for you?
It would be the 60s custom with the double bound. Color would probably be Fiesta Red is probably what I would go with. Double bound Fiesta Red with the rosewood board. I would want it to have a thicker neck. I know those kind of have skinnier necks. So if I could get this exact neck, the 57V, which I've never played this neck shape before, and it's honestly one of my favorite necks. It's an amazing feeling. Fender did a great job on that. And I think everything else I would keep just about the same. Maybe try a different neck pickup just to have something a little different. But I have such little experience with the different Tele pickups, so I wouldn't even know what to go for, to be honest.
Okay. As a Gibson guy, you've never thought about maybe like a deluxe? That would be the wide range humbucking, fat CBS headstock, etc., etc.
I had a friend that has a vintage one, and it is a super cool guitar. I just never could get into it. I think it had the 3-bolt neck heel, and the neck shape just wasn't really my thing. If I want a Tele, I want it to be a Tele. In my head is this configuration with the lipstick pickup in the neck and that slanted bridge pickup. I love the flat pole piece ones like this has. In my head, that's what a Tele is, and so that's immediately what I go to. I have played those; they're fantastic guitars. But if I want humbuckers, I'm gonna grab the Les Paul. I'm gonna grab the 345. If I want that sound, I'm gonna go for one of those.
Fair enough. Alrighty, so tell us where we can find you. Tell us all about. Give us all the plugs. Where are we going to find that beautiful face and that gorgeous Tele?
Well, you're not going to find my beautiful face anywhere because it's not beautiful. But YeatZee Guitar and everything. So it's YeatZee Guitar. That's on Facebook, Instagram, YeatZeeGuitar.com. If you have a Helix, like you said, check out my YouTube channel. I've got stuff for you, tips and tricks videos, as well as patches. But you don't have to buy those. I have free ones as well to check out. But yeah, YeatZee Guitar and everything. If you like gear, check me out. I've got Kempers here. I've got amps. I've got pedals. I've got guitars. I'm all about gear. So
yeah,
not just Helix stuff.
I like, and I don't know if you're gonna do any more, but the series, it was like over several episodes with Tone Junkies guy. Sorry, I forget his name.
Jonathan Sullivan.
That's a cool series if you just want to hear two guys talking gear and talking about players and stuff. I was watching that earlier today. I very much enjoyed it.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, we need to do a second one. I've been trying to line up some other people. I got a couple of potential cool people, but people are so busy. It's hard to make this work out. But check it out. I just like talking gear, man. In person, it's hard to meet people to talk about gear, especially now with everything going on. So I welcome any chance.
Ruined.
Yeah, for sure.
But, anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. YeatZee Guitars, links are down below to his patches, his Instagram, his YouTube. Check it all out. The guy's a fantastic player. I love the tones that he gets. Just super, super fat Tele tones. You guys heard it in this episode. And if you want more of that kind of playing, check him out. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for committing to doing this. I'm really sorry about being late. I do really appreciate you and your patience with me today. It's been a chaotic day. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.